Divisional round is completed and more shocking NFL news has hit the media waves. Pick 6 begins right now.
To the championship game. Here it is on the way, and the Denver Broncos have won it in overtime.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready. Like I said this at the beginning of the season. I feel like I've got a two that's capable of starting for a handful of number of teams, and I know he feels the same way. So, watch out.
Welcome to week 20 of the NFL season, aka divisional round. We had 4 games this weekend, and it's funny because I was going to do the show right after the Bears-Rams game, and then I said to myself, let me just chill out and let me just wait and see what's going to transpire the next 48 to 72 hours. And then as time kept going, Monday hits, I'm like, nah. Tuesday hits, nah. And then today, I'm like, wow. I mean, the NFL season is not over, and we are more focused on what's transpiring outside of the last 4 teams than we are about what's happening with the road to the Super Bowl. So what you guys just heard, and before, let me just start the show off. Welcome to week 20 of this season. What you just heard on that soundbite was the field goal that won the game for Denver, and then you heard Sean Payton announce that Bo Nix was done for the playoffs, and that Jarrett Stidham was going to start. He didn't sound like somebody that was confident. He tried to say all the right things. People always try to say the right things when they're in a position of, this might not work out. And unfortunately, Denver's going to host the AFC Championship game against New England without their starting quarterback. And don't tell me that that's a great thing. But again, Sean Payton, hopefully Jarrett Stidham is ready, because he better be ready, because as far as I'm concerned, this season right now, it's on the line for a lot of teams. So, situation, with this whole coaching carousel, I'm going to get to that later. But first, of course, we got to get to the games. We're going to talk about the games. It might be late, but it ain't late, folks. It's not late at all. As you heard, Denver kicked the winning field goal to win 33-30 against the Bills. And usually I break down all this. I'm not going to do that for this. I think I'm going to get down to the particulars. The Bills did enough to lose this game. The turnovers were ridiculous. Yes, the catch by Brandon Cooks. Was it interception? Was it not? Did he get full control of the ball? Absolutely. Maybe he did. But I always say 2 things in sports, in any sports, any level of sports. Number 1, do not leave the game in the ref's hands. And number 2, do not lose the turnover battle. Do not lose a turnover battle. This is for any sports, hockey, basketball, football, American football. It doesn't matter. If you lose the turnover battle most times, you're going to lose the game. Buffalo did everything to lose this game. The last play before the half with Josh Allen, I don't know what that was. I mean, there was a plethora of plays. There was even a play at the end of the game. And I'm going to actually put this in the info, in the info part that you guys see, whether it's on Spotify, YouTube, whatever. There's a part at the end of the game where there was a potential holding call. Josh Allen backed up in the end zone. That could have ended the game. They could have called a safety and ended the game. There were so many different things in this game that could have just went either way. Absolutely. Denver could have put this game away. They had a better game plan. The defense played well. They were ready. Buffalo's been playing these gritty games all season long, and it finally caught up with them. Josh Allen had 283 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was sacked 3 times, and a couple of fumbles lost. James Cook, of course, the fumble he had, which was costly. Kincaid actually showed up. He was healthy and ready to go. I mean, there were so many things. I mean, Denver, Bo Nix, I mean, he ran all over the place. I mean, you see 29 yards he had rushing only, but the 29 yards were key. They were key 29-yard plays. And that's what was one of the big differences in this game. He threw the ball 46 times, which is classic, Sean Payton and Drew Brees type of a game plan. But he had no choice. He has his quarterback. He had to do what he had to do, and it paid off. I mean, even the catch to Mims for a touchdown, Humphrey, 2 moments in the game where Buffalo had to take out their top secondary guys for a play, and then, boom, the Mims touchdown, the Humphrey touchdown. So those are the key factors. I don't need to go stat for stat. The Bills could have won this game. Denver could have won this game. But at the end of the day, Denver pulled this game off. And I'm telling you guys, there's more to this. And I'm going to get into more of this after this. So before I'm going to get to everything. I'm going to cover everything. But now I want you guys to listen. Actually, no. We're going to continue. So Monday morning, the sun rises, and a coach is fired. And guess who it is? So now, guys, I want you to hear the owner, the majority owner of the Buffalo Bills, Terry Pegula. And then I'm going to chime in on what I thought about what he said and where this is going to go for Buffalo. Just listen to what he says. Listen to this soundbite with him. This is classic.
My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver. Yeah, Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
So that was Terry Pegula talking about why he fired Sean McDermott. Unreal. And then his comments about Keon Coleman saying that wasn't Brandon Beane's choice. Here's my thing on this. Why are you talking for Brandon Beane? Why is Brandon Beane not the one doing the majority of the talk? I mean, you could talk. You own the team. You want to boast yourself. You want to show that you're something important. You go spend time with your younger wife or your 18 years younger wife. It looks like your daughter. But anyways, that's what you should be doing. I don't care. Now you might say, oh, it's personal. It is. Seriously. Like, guys like this have such a big ego. It's disgusting and it's deplorable. Okay? Brandon Beane, on top of that, was anointed team president and was given a raise. Sean McDermott is fired. He's done. And the whole Keon Coleman comment, as you guys just heard in the sound clip. And you know what? This is more of a mess than it was. And you know what? The respect and the shouts that the players gave Sean McDermott and the overall just like reception he received after he was let go from current players, former players. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Now, was he the perfect coach? No, obviously not. He was not the perfect coach at all. He had his flaws. I mean, he had a good amount of time to do something. I mean, he coached 9 seasons, was 98-50, had a 500 record, 8-8 in the playoffs, 6.662 winning percentage. He had 5 AFC titles, no Super Bowls. And we know what happened in most of those games. So it's not like it's breaking news or anything like that. Like, we knew what was going on. We knew how bad it was. And it was just one of those things where, hey, he got fired simply because he didn't get it done. But you're talking about you fired him because of what happened in Denver. You moron, the game was close. I'm sorry to say this, but again, these owners who don't have a clue on what's going on, just because you watch the game doesn't mean anything. You got to watch the game and see what it was. That game could have went either way. If, like I said, Denver wins that game, Buffalo wins that game, Buffalo goes to New England, they potentially have a chance to go to the Super Bowl playing a division rival, and it's a whole different narrative today. We are not talking about this. But unfortunately, this happens, and I said this multiple times on multiple episodes of Pick Six. If he doesn't get to the Super Bowl, he's going to get fired. It is what it is. But don't come on the season-ending press conference and talk all this shite while Brandon Beane's sitting there just with a closed mouth, knowing he's probably a shyster, and he's probably one of the guys behind getting his coach fired. Come on, seriously? The team is not a mess. I think the roster has to do something with their salary cap because their salary cap is a little bit too high right now with what they got. But it's not even the team. It's the office. The owner, the shisty president / GM. So, I mean, to be honest, I think Joe Brady or Brian Dable will be the safe bet for these guys. I don't think anybody wants to walk into this mess. And I'll tell you right now, if the Bills absolutely poop this upcoming season, they should fire Brandon Beane. So, I mean, it's just one of those things at the end of the day. But hey, man, it's football. These things happen, and it is what it is. But to come out and do and say what he said, Terry, that whole press conference was a piece of garbage. Like, we fired him because of the results of that game, and I went in the locker room and I saw their faces. What? It's sports. Of course, guys are going to cry. Some guys will cry. Josh Allen has been dealing with this for 9 years. Come on. Deion Dawkins, he has a heart. He wants to win. Guys want to win. It happens all the time. But the center, and then the Keon Coleman comments, you're a clown, man. Listen, this guy, and you should see him sitting there. He looks like one of those old owners he's just dirty. You could see it. He's not to be trusted. And Brandon Beane, you're a weasel. Coming up next, Seattle. Wow. Santa Claus, he had no gifts to give. He had none. Wow.
It's Rashid Shaheed. With the steam, Shaheed breaks through. Still going. A flag flies. Shaheed's going to take it all the way. Let's see if it stands. Walker looking for the trifecta. He's got it. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Yeah. 41-6. Wow. It just did not go well. Sam Darnold coming with an oblique injury was just fine. Probably took a couple of shots to, numb the pain. I mean, Kenneth Walker III did whatever he wanted. 19 rushes, 116, 3 touchdowns, 6 yards a carry. I mean, it was just an absolute disaster. Sam Darnold only threw the 4 receivers in that game. That's all he did. Only 4 receivers. It was just a mathematical outburst of just it just you could feel it from the start. Brock Purdy, 15 for 27, 140, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. He just didn't have anything. He couldn't do nothing. That defense was all over him. Mac Jones came in for a couple of plays. Brock Purdy ran for 37 yards. Most of those yards were running for his life. Like, it was just, Christian McCaffrey was a non-factor. And it was just like that. It was just a disaster for Santa Claus. And Santa Claus came into the season with a lot of injuries. He had a lot of injuries. It just wasn't, Santa Claus-like at all. But he had a lot of injuries coming into this game, and with what he had, he did the best he could. I can't even sit here and even trash Santa Claus. Usually I would just give Santa Claus, a little bit of a tease here and there, but I can't do that. It was rough for Santa Claus in this game. And Seattle, congratulations. They did what they needed to do, and they are going to advance to the NFC Championship game, well deserved. And and also, they had their end of the season presser, and they asked Lynch about Brandon Ayuk, who signed a 4-year, $120 million deal in 2024, but the deal was voided this season due to his guarantees. And of course, the contract was void, period, due to missing meetings, all kinds of stuff. He did it on purpose. He thought he was bigger than the team. There are too many players in professional sports who don't understand you are not running the team. I am a big fan and a big advocate of making your money. Go out there and get your money. I don't care who you are, but understand that you are not the owner of that team. You need to follow protocols, not just because you're supposed to, but you're supposed to be a team guy, even if you're injured or whatever the case may be. Put yourself in the position to be around. Show your face. Be a team player. That level of energy, it infests in the locker room, and it helps. I could speak from experience from as a sports guy in the world of basketball. You're supposed to be there. Get there early. Doesn't matter. Like, a lot of people are trying to say, well, no, you could tell that John Lynch gave him a lot of leeway. Like, this is ridiculous with these guys, and these guys don't think they're going to be replaced. There's a draft coming up in April. Your replacement is sitting right there. These guys have a bad attitude. We gotta really focus on some of these athletes and the decisions that they're making, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. I'm telling you guys, but I'm not going to spend time talking about Brandon Ayuk because I don't even know if he's going to be picked up. You saw what happened to Trayvon Diggs. He just got released from Green Bay yesterday. Nobody even thinks or cares about him. Meanwhile, his older brother still balling as he always does, with all the stuff going on with him, and a fantastic player. Like I said, when the tolerance doesn't meet the production, they're going to get rid of you. Brandon Ayuk, tolerance, no production. Trayvon Diggs, tolerance, no production. Goodbye. That's all I got to say. Next order of business, guys. Man, that Bears-Rams game. Wow. It was one of those gritty football games. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a very gritty game. And I liked what I saw. And, that interception by Caleb Williams in the end, oh, man. He's going to learn from it, though. He's going to learn from it because he had 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. He threw 3 picks, and they were still in that game. There's no way the Bears should be in that game, but the Rams had a problem with that weather. And this is why I'm a big fan of outdoor stadiums. The Bears said, we're going to have a new indoor stadium. When you have you have a psychological advantage in the football game, you use it. Denver had a huge advantage with that altitude. New England's not going into a dome. Buffalo's not going into a dome. So all these KC, all these teams where we're going into a dome, you're going to kill your psychological advantage. Are you serious? Come on. Be smart, guys. Football is outdoor sport, not a dome thing. Dome is garbage. But the Rams won that game, and 20-17. Here's the soundbite with the winning field goal. This field goal had this vibe to it. When you saw that field goal, it just sucked the air out of the Chicago fans when Caleb threw that third interception. Here's the soundbite, and I'm going to go right back to that.
Game. Mavis from 42 online, and it's good. And the Los Angeles Rams go to the championship game with an overtime win in Chicago.
That was it. Game over. And the Bears, they got a lot of work to do, but can they get back to that position? Of course. The Rams, of course, experienced. They got a Super Bowl the last few years when they beat Cincy. I think it was 2022. And they have a very good young defense. So that game against Seattle, which will be for the NFC Championship, a division game, of course, it's going to be something to watch. Next order of business, the New England Patriots. I'm telling you, man, as much as I picked the Bills to win that division, I like what I see from that defense. So next order of business, the New England Patriots. Pick 6 coming back soon, real soon.
5. Anderson coming off the edge. May steps into it, takes a shot downfield, and caught for the touchdown. Kayshon Boutte.
Boutte with that catch for a touchdown. That was a phenomenal throw by Drake May. Phenomenal throw. Pro-style throw. Those are the throws you need in games like that. And listen, the Houston Texans defense did everything to keep them in that game. They were up 10-7 at one point. That Houston Texans defense is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. Drake May only threw for 179 yards. They were all over him. They did what they could. I mean, Diggs had a touchdown, Douglas had a touchdown, and of course, Boutte had a touchdown. But that Houston defense did everything in their power to keep that game. I mean, Tutu, Shire, Petrie, Lattiser, Hunter, Anderson, Ratkins, these guys are ballers on the defensive end. And their quarterback, who I'm going to talk about next, did absolutely nothing to help them. And he has not been playing. And I mentioned him before on my last show. And before, he hasn't been playing well. And New England winning 28-16, going to the AFC Championship game. Now I'm going to conclude this show with this. I want you guys to listen to these continuous sound bites there from C.J. Stroud. I want you to listen to what he said a few years ago about being a top quarterback. I want you to hear what happened to him on Sunday. And then I want you guys to hear what Troy Aikman has to say. And it's absolutely spot on because I've been saying the same thing too. So check out these sound bites and I'll be back with that.
Final 5. I know what I'm doing, dog. Mahomes, Lamar, myself, Dak,
Joey B.
No, he didn't really play last year. And then Hurts.
Dak,
yeah, Dak, that boy.
In trouble. That ball is up for grabs. Picked off. Back the other way, Jones. He is in for the touchdown.
History, but I will say this, Joe. D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caserio, they've got some tough decisions they've got to make about this team on the offensive side of the ball. You know, they replaced Bobby Slowick last year after his 2 years as the offensive coordinator. C.J. Stroud has been chasing his rookie success for the last 2 years. He's not been the same player. We've not seen the development from him. There's a reason for that, and it has to be addressed.
Here's Bryant. Passes too high and off his hands. It's 4th down. Yeah, you bring up a great point. I mean, his rookie year was as good a rookie year as you can have in the NFL in 2023.
But the last 2 years have been okay, not great. And here tonight, now Barr, if his hands hurt, that's one thing. But he missed some open throws here tonight, turned the ball over a lot again, which is what he did in Pittsburgh. This was not a good performance.
Well, 7 turnovers in the 2 playoff games. So your most important games of the year, you just can't overcome that kind of quarterback play.
They shut this one down.
You cannot come in there as a rookie and perform like that. How long has it been? I've been saying it for a while now. You know, like, there's a lot of things about him, Ohio State, all that stuff. We know how the Ohio State quarterbacks haven't panned out too well in the NFL. And we're thinking, oh, finally one is going to. Because you see what's going on with Justin Fields right now. It's not looking good. And it's potentially an outlook that he won't even be on an NFL roster next year. He definitely won't be starting on an NFL team. And I just look at this as it's a travesty. It really is. Because I'll say it like this. He came in with a lot of juice after his rookie year. He's still living through his rookie years. He's still living through the hype. Troy Aikman says, some people say he's living through his rookie season. People say he's still living through the hype. It goes back to a lot of these young players who have never grinded in certain aspects of their sport, of their respective sports to get to the next level. And when I say get to the next level, I don't mean getting to the NFL, because you've gotten to the NFL. But what are you doing to get to the next level? Being a top quarterback, making your team better, pushing yourself to get in a position to get to a Super Bowl or something. You are not as good as you think you are. Your defense is a top 3 defense in the league, and you're playing like a bottom 5 quarterback. You have J.J. McCarthy characteristics. I'm going to say it again. You guys are from the same Big Ten conference, because Big Ten doesn't seem to give us solid quarterbacking. You have C.J. Stroud right now is playing on J.J. McCarthy-like skills. The only difference is J.J. McCarthy didn't make the playoffs because there's 2 games they didn't win. They're the same quarterback, not skill-wise, but mentally. Living off the hype. J.J. wins the national championship, coming in the league, all that foolishness. What happened to him? Injuries and all sorts of foolishness. He's a good kid. He's behaving. But the skill set doesn't match the attitude. C.J. Stroud, same thing. The skill set doesn't match the attitude. You're going to have to take yourself in the offseason, put yourself in the position to be prepared, to be ready. You cannot do that to that defense again. Not another year of that. No way, no how. That is crazy. You wasted a phenomenal defense because you thought you were better than you were. You threw 4 interceptions. One of them, you got one of your players hurt. He's probably going to miss the season. Come on, guys. Like, this goes for all sports, man. You cannot be stagnant just because you win something. You got to keep pushing yourself. You got to... Grinding and hustling are 2 different things. Hustling is just hustling, as far as I'm concerned. Grinding means you are preparing yourself for not only just to get better, but to evolve what is around you. Hustling is not doing anything. So CJ Stroud, he better go out there and grind this offseason. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good look for him as things are going to go forth for him. Championship game predictions right now for me, honestly, I see New England versus Seattle in the Super Bowl. New England's actually a 4.5 favorite, and Seattle's a 2.5 favorite. I think Seattle versus New England in the Super Bowl. Is it going to be a watchable Super Bowl? It'll be all right. But again, the NFL, they don't have there's no stars in this. Matt Stafford is not a poster boy. Neither is Sam Darnold. Neither is Jarrett Stidham / Bo Nix. And neither is Drake May. I'm sure they would have loved Josh Allen to get there for that whole story, and Sean McDermott would still have his job, but that's not how it works in the NFL. You still got to play the games, and that's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your divisional round special. Pick 6, week 20. Next up is the championship games, and of course, 2 weeks after that, February 8th, the Super Bowl. But let's just chill before that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. As always, this is Pick 6. I'm signing off. Peace.